Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Battle Ready. Ready.
Yeah.
Where today, one of the things, I think one of the complaints, overall, let's start here. Overall, I think 4th edition is fabulous.
Yeah.
And I like it better than 3rd.
For sure.
And I loved 3rd.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not trying to say the 3rd was bad, because it wasn't. I enjoyed every single game.
Yeah.
But I think 4th is better. It's cleaner. It's interesting. The rules make sense. The timing is all good. There's many fewer. There's a lot fewer. That still sounds weird to me. Anyway, there are fewer corner cases where you're like, oh, how do these rules interact? Whereas in 3rd, there could be a little bit of that, right? A little bit of that. But the one complaint that sort of comes out with 4th edition, and I don't think it's totally unjustified, is flavor loss.
Yeah.
Right? Because no longer do most wizards have spells. Right? Or I should say war scroll spells.
Yeah.
Right? No longer do most priests have war scroll spells.
Yeah.
No longer, most abilities are like, they either give you plus to a stat, like attacks, saves, or whatever, control score.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a big one.
Or there's a movement thing.
Yeah.
Which I guess is sort of a stat, or teleporting or something. It's like, where are the units that give really weird abilities? Where are the units that go deep into their lore and say, oh, here's why we can do this thing? It's like a lot of those abilities have sort of been nixed, right? In favor of just like, well, we'll put crit mortals on it. That'll be good.
Yep.
We'll put crit auto wounds. That's where that lore comes in. And I think the loss of uniqueness is bad. Again, better than 3rd.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want anyone to get the impression that we don't dislike the game or that we think this is a step back from 3rd edition, because I don't think either of those things is true.
Yeah, it's way better.
But there's always room for improvement.
Sure.
And so one of the things I thought we'd talk about is, what lore would you like to see better reflected on the tabletop?
Certain factions, things like with Iron Jaws used to be able to do smashing and bashing, which was representing, they're getting riled up, they're getting ready to fight. Stormcast, they could explode. I'm not saying explode was good, but make it better. But
yeah. I think both of those are really interesting. So I think that for the most part, battle traits, the army-wide battle traits,
I've just been nuked,
are less interesting than they were.
Crew Boys is good.
Okay. Yeah, Crew Boys is interesting. But I think for the most part, they're less interesting than they were, because I think Stormcast is a great example, right? They used to be able to explode.
They never did anything.
They would come down from the heavens and do stuff. And now it's like I guess they explode in the lore, but they certainly don't on the tabletop.
Yep.
Right? Could the way they explode be better, because the whole roll 6s to nail damage was dumb, right? But putting that aside, at least it was reenacting for you something that was lore-wise, right? And they don't have that anymore. Orcs, or Iron Jaws, is another good example of that.
They just got nuked.
Well, they still have some stuff, right? They still have Mighty Destroyers.
It's worse.
Mighty Destroyers is worse.
So
but they still have things that are like about them wanting to get stuck in and that sort of thing. But I think the loss of smashing and bashing is a real loss.
Because now it's like, we've charged. Oh, we don't want to be here anymore after we've charged.
Well, I feel like in smashing and bashing, one of the cool things about it was you could just go one right. You could have your whole army striking first if you chose the right order.
Yeah.
And I think that was really cool, because on the one hand, it represented the orcs just going and getting the great green fury, right?
Yeah.
Going da 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 da. And on the other hand, it also gave you a tactical reason to do things differently, right? Instead of just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to attack with my biggest unit before they get weakened. It's like, ooh, I could attack with, they might not kill the thing, but I could attack with these guys. And then if they kill the thing, then I get 2, right? So it led to interesting tactical choices, which I think is the best. When you have a rule that reflects lore and leads to interesting tactical choices,
I think there is a battle formation that is called smashing and bashing, but it does something wildly different. When an orc kills a unit, they get +1 to hit.
Yeah, and that's a good example where you had this cool ability, super unique, although the Lumineth sort of came and stole it a little bit, but mostly unique.
Can they smash and bash it now?
Well, they get to pick 2.
Okay.
So it's not a smash and bash thing. They just always get to pick 2.
Smash and bash.
Smash and bash. and then done, and then rest for a little bit, and get struck back.
Sit on your hide.
Exactly. So, but I think that that's an example of where they had this cool idea, they had this cool ability where they can attack twice, but only if they strike, only if they kill a unit or whatever. It's really interesting. And then in 4th edition, they're like, just give them +1 hit. Yeah. It's like, okay. But we took a very flavorful ability and just put a stat on it. Yeah. What else is like that? Another one that I think is sort of like that is the Caradron, where they all used to be on the boats. Yeah. Which was really cool. I mean, now people were upset because you paint all these dwarves and then they don't actually ever hit the table. It's like,
except for when I fill up your boats.
They sit on the side table, right? Just hanging out there. But I think that there was something interesting about having all these guys on their boats doing. It was felt evocative. It's like, if you're going to fight the Caradron, you have to deal with those boats. And whereas now, when they jump out, they're always out, right? And it's like, well, how are they? Are they like jumping on the boat and traveling, and the boat kicks them off again real fast, or how does that
how's that happening?
Yeah, how's that transport thing working? Really? And then it's really easy. It's like, okay, well, if I can make a charge into the boys on the boat, but outside of the boat, then I can get into combat and I can start doing stuff. Whereas before, I would have to get onto the boat, right?
Yeah.
And so I think, again, it's not mechanically, it's not the worst thing in the world, but flavor-wise,
it's like, but why does that work?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a flavor fail. What else do you think?
In terms of failures or like good stuff?
Either way, I think 4th edition mostly has flavor fails, but there are some bright points. So what do you think?
Cruel Boys is a good one.
I think Cruel Boys has a pretty, flavor-wise, now we can get in about the strength or weaknesses of it, right? But flavor-wise, I do think it's pretty interesting, where they've got all these dirty tricks.
But it might not work.
And most of them are not weak. Most of them have a real effect. Now, they all happen on a die roll, and that die roll gets increasingly worse, which is also sort of interesting because it's like, ooh, I really want to do this thing in my hero phase.
But
I need this thing in the charge phase, so maybe I won't do the hero phase so I can have a better charge phase. There's stuff like that. So it introduces things like that I think is really neat. And the whole different, you're constantly doing different things, right? It feels like, this Cruel Boy sort of used to feel like just any other army, right? You'd line up your gut rippers and move forward.
Yep.
And now it feels like there's all kinds of little things, little things they're doing, and makes fighting them sort of annoying, especially when their dirty tricks are going off, right? Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Another one that I think is pretty interesting, actually, is, we talked about Stormcast.
Yes.
Who am I thinking of? Is the Night Haunt.
Yeah.
The Night Haunt, I feel like, so let's just take an example. All right, is ethereal, right? In 3rd edition, they couldn't benefit from buffs or losses. And even in 4th edition, before they got their battle tome, I think that was the case.
Yeah.
So you could not all-out defense them. Or I mean, you could, but you would be wasting a command point, right? Because they wouldn't benefit from the plus. And then what they did to change that in 4th edition, because some people were like, well, I'm bummed that I can't get all-out defense. But you get the ethereal save, right? Yeah, so the army just played different, and the army was very flavorful.
And you get Discorporate instead.
You do get Discorporate instead. It helps your board.
Yeah.
Right. So what they did instead is they said, okay. We'll just make everybody save 1 worse. So now everybody's on a 5-up instead of a 4-up. And we'll say that your all defense works. And it's like, what you did was made the army more generic.
Yeah.
And in fact, in some ways, a lot worse. Because you can only all-out defense 1 unit.
Yeah.
So 1 unit gets to be back to its 4s like it was before the tome.
Yeah.
And then every other unit that's in combat
is worse.
It's worse. It's suffering with its 5s. So is it really worth it? That's sort of a flavor fail.
And a game fail.
And a power level fail. It is 100% a nerf. So I think when we see things like that, we need to call it out, because some of these abilities are just uninspired. They're bland. And the more that we take battle traits, now for like war scroll abilities and stuff. Like there's a lot of war scroll abilities where the foot hero says, and when I attack, I bring in my boys and they strike again.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
If lots of armies have that ability, that's good. But when it comes to battle traits, the things that are supposed to make each army feel very different, they should be wacky. They should be wild and wacky, so that when you're playing Stormcast, it feels so different than playing Gitz, who the moon still sucks.
The moon has never been good.
The moon is, I think it's better now than it used to be, but it's still bad.
Third edition's moon was the best moon.
When it zipped across the table?
No, go like this. It would go in a cycle in 1/4 each phase.
Oh.
Second edition, it would go zip, and it would do that before it got its book in third.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the one I remember as being terrible. That one is terrible.
Because you go, Battle Round 1, it's in the corner, doesn't work. Battle Round 2, it's right here. Battle Round 3, it's in the center, and it's also Battle Round 4, it's off the board.
Yep. Yeah, the Gitz moon has been tough. That was the worst. And I really wish the Gitz would have their own battle traits. And then if they want to also have the moon, so you have a list of battle traits, which maybe aren't super strong, but they're there, right?
And one helps each subset.
Well, they need to figure that out. But let's just say they've got battle traits that are good. And then on top of that, you have the moon. So you have this thing where you have to manage it, and your stuff gets really good
when you're near the moon.
When you're in the moon, and then it's back to sort of being without the moon. Whereas right now, it's playable with the moon.
Yeah.
And
you get nothing else.
Pretty garbage without it. You basically don't have battle traits. Anyway, we could talk all day about the moon and how bad it is. But the real question is, when it comes to the lore, are we seeing battle traits that are flavorful and interesting? Because at least the moon is flavorful. I might hesitate to call it interesting in its current incarnation, but it is flavorful. Or are we seeing battle traits that are just bland, right? Everybody can set up in the heavens. Everybody can get their +1 to defense. You get a +1 to wound. Everybody gets impact hits, right? Where I feel like a lot of battle traits are relying on very samey type mechanics, right? It's like, stuff has impact hits. Ogres all have impact hits.
Yeah.
So what I would like to see is more lore that's flavorful and ideally good.
Yeah.
Is it too much to ask that it be flavorful and good?
Probably not.
It doesn't seem like it should be.
Because Gitz is flavorful-ish, but it's not good.
Yeah. It seems like there should be a way to really bridge that, to jump that hurdle, right? There should be a way to make the lore, the models on the tabletop reflect the lore, but also be good.
Yeah.
Particularly with battle traits. Battle traits really should make every army feel very different. When you're playing Iron Jaws, it should feel way different from ogres, even though they're both destruction. It should feel very different. And right now, same-ish, similar. You can always find things that are different, but it sort of feels like they've got the same basic strategy, and they have battle traits that help them do that same basic strategy in slightly different ways. All right. Well, what about you? What are your thoughts when it comes to flavor-wise? How can we increase the flavor? Where are the pain points that we can ameliorate and really make this a game more flavorful? I think 4th edition did a great job of streamlining the rules and making the game mechanics very good and very playable. But they did that at the cost of pulling out a lot of flavor. So now that we've stripped it down to something that's good and playable, let's just sprinkle on. Let's get our little salt sprinkles, our flavor sprinkles on there.
That's 5th edition.
Maybe. And then hopefully they're working on, if it is, then hopefully they're working on that, because really we want to see some of that flavor added back in. Keep the basic structure, which is very good.
Yeah.
But let's, right now it's a little bland. Let's put some spice back in.
Yeah.
All right, this has been another episode of Battle Ready.
Baby.
Thanks so much for watching.